I was working for 50 to 60 hours per week as a business management consultant while running my YouTube channel, consistently posting one video a week for an entire year before finally going full time. I did this all while sleeping an average of 8 hours a night, staying healthy and fit, going to the gym, and having a social life, building my relationship with my now husband. In this podcast episode, I will share with you my top tips for how to grow on YouTube or social media in general sustainably, even if you have a busy job. As context, on my main channel, which is just my name, Amy Wang, I have over 740,000 subscribers. On this podcast, The CEO of Life, I'm passionate about helping ambitious people like you live for themselves and ultimately be the executive of their own lives, building a business or personal brand via social media. I started my channel in 2020, climbed to 20,000 subscribers in September 2023, hit 100,000 subscribers in December 2023, and then finally 500K in October 2024. Now, before we begin, two important things. Number one, mindset is crucial. If you are really committed to building a brand and something you're proud of, well, you have to commit and say that this is not just a hobby, but it is a passion. It is a real side hustle if you want to earn money from it, or it is just a real North Star that you are committing your full to. That focus and dedication starts by when you're consuming any kind of content to actually be making the most of that time when you're listening to someone like a podcast or any informational, valuable video. So in shorter words, lock in. And the second important thing is that I work really hard to make hopefully valuable podcast episodes for you. So please, if you could check that you are following either on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to this, and make sure that you have notifications on. It will help me so much so I can continue doing this. And without further ado, let's get into number one. It is so crazy to me how to this day, so many people refuse to do this, but it is outsource editing. Editing is the biggest time sink there is. And if you are not making videos because you are that super fancy cinematic person, or like you're just super into the filmmaking of it all, and you're more into, telling your story, making your ideas heard, like myself, then editing is probably not the thing that is your edge or your advantage that you need to spend time on. Instead, especially at the beginning, what you want is to reduce as much of the other work that is not unique to you as much as possible. When I describe this, it will seem like a no-brainer, but think about it. When I was working as a business management consultant, so busy, right? To build a YouTube channel, or any business for that matter, I would have to wear so many hats. Like be my editor, producer, scriptwriter, filmer, the talent. I have to work on emails, SEO, and you are essentially set up in a position to fail because you have to do every little thing. Like everything has to be owned by yourself. But truly, editing is one of those biggest things that you can hand off, where then I, at only 1,000 subscribers, was able to focus my energy, therefore, on strategy and reflecting on each video I posted so that I could actually improve. Because, like Mr. Beast says, post 100 videos and just make sure you're improving one thing in each video. Well, if I'm a busy consultant squeezing out any extra minute of my time to work on videos, then every minute is precious that I could be spending on figuring out. Then if I'm spending all of my precious minutes editing, which I was doing for 10 to 20 hours, then I couldn't even improve, and all those reps to 100 videos would actually not be valuable. Now, I'm gonna try to convince you to outsource editing even more, because this was one of the biggest factors for how I was actually able to become successful, and I just have no idea why more people don't do this. Now, I know this is only point number one, but I'm gonna spend a little more time just trying to convince you further on why you should definitely outsource editing as soon as possible, because this was one of the biggest, if not biggest, determining factor that made me successful on YouTube, because it trickled down into every little thing that I could spend my time on. So growing up in a frugal Asian immigrant household, it seemed like any money leaving our pockets felt like a scam. And it wasn't like we were getting anything back. That's just kind of the way we thought about things. Especially as a new grad, I wouldn't want to spend any money. I wouldn't even be willing to buy one chapstick. And so when it came time to really pursuing YouTube, I was feeling rather discouraged because I was grinding on these videos, spending 20 hours just heads down editing And then my videos would get only like 500 views. Not only that, but I was stressed from my job, plus stress from editing, plus stress that I wasn't getting anywhere, then stress that I could post a video only every like 3 weeks. There was no way that I could see my potential at this rate. And so I realized, okay, I need to take a step back. What is my time sink and what doesn't need me to be doing it? And so I went on People Per Hour and Fiverr, and it took some upfront work, but I realized that this is going to be worth it in the long run from all the time saved. And plus, the really, really amazing thing is that you, if you have a job right now, you're at the prime position. So you're earning money from your corporate job, right? And so maybe you would have some expensive hobbies or like, I don't know, other hobbies that cost money, like skiing, like maybe, I don't know, a few $100s a year, right? Or eating out even. But instead, you could just spend that money on a passion or a real side hustle, like making YouTube videos. And if you're taking it seriously, well, it's like an investment in your own business. And I think it's a no-brainer where then you can earn money from your stable corporate job and then turn that into something that fuels something that you are really passionate about and that you have ownership over. So after hitting 1,000 subscribers in December of 2021, I outsourced editing, and it was just so much better. I was able to get so many reps in, learn faster, and my quality improved a lot faster as well. So what I would say is that I do recommend probably that you try to reach around 1,000 subscribers on your own. That way you can gain the skills and understand what you're looking for in an editor and pacing and the way you present yourself on camera. So then you can actually vet a proper editor. And not only that, you will make sure that you're not relying on the editing to beautify everything, right? The core will still be your story. Now, if you do want to learn the details of how I was able to find really great editors, in fact, I've been working with one of the same editors I've had since all the way back in 2022. You can sign up for my free 7-day newsletter series, and it will be linked below. This 7-day newsletter series not only shares how to find an editor, but it will also share other tips about how to grow on YouTube if you have a busy adult life, which, you know, kind of is the point of this video. Number 2 is to reduce friction. I tried filming once with my now husband's fancy like Sony camera, and it took me like an hour to set up each time, and then the quality didn't look good because I had no idea what I was doing with the camera settings. Plus, the file size was huge and I had to use an SD card, and to say the least, it is very clear why I only filmed with that twice. And now everything I film, including this video, is on my iPhone. This one in particular is on my back camera. Finally, I converted, but I was just filming on my front camera. And as my mic, I have a lavalier mic. It's only $20 off Amazon. It's linked to my Amazon storefront if anyone is interested. But the key here is to get good lighting, a decently clean aesthetic background, and clear audio. The audio matters more than the visuals in a video. People are more likely to leave your video if it has bad audio than if you look kind of weird, right? So why this is so important is that, again, I think everything comes back to the fact that you don't have much time and you want to get reps and to really increase your quality and your chance at success as efficiently as possible. And so if I can just sit at my, $30 tripod, put on my phone, as a girl, sadly, it's helpful to wear makeup. Unfortunately, scientifically speaking, there are studies done by, I think it was Harvard, Stanford, and Oxford, according to Cody Sanchez, that women who wear makeup earn 20 to 40% more than women who do not wear makeup. And so, the science says that we should wear makeup. Unfortunately, we had to take the extra step. But yeah, then I just plug in my lavalier mic and I'm good to go to film. Another way that I have personally reduced friction is that I stick to only sit down talking head videos. When I was trying to vlog back then and make a bunch of different videos, vlogging took twice as long for my editor to edit and for us to iterate back and forth and give feedback. Plus, I would be stressed while filming the vlogs, and then the vlogs would not perform as well as the sit-down videos. Number 3, use your unfair advantages. One of the mistakes I made early on was I would make videos like about anything, just thinking that people would like me for my personality. Wow, that was kind of silly of me and slightly egotistical, I guess. But I should have really sat down and realized what my edge is in this very saturated world of YouTube and social media. So if you're a working professional, right, then you likely have a lot more wisdom and real world experience and expertise in whatever field you're in. You have unique experiences. And so really think about why that makes you credible in a certain area, or what kind of experience is valuable to someone in your audience. So for me, what really worked to grow my channel was I realized that how I succeeded in school was actually not just cookie cutter ways like tactical advice like, oh, active recall or anything. I actually did not watch any videos on how to study when I was in school. And so that kind of proves that there are some other factors for how to succeed as a student, right? And so I just spoke very passionately about how I believe that it's not about the grades, but it's about how you get the grades, and how I stayed healthy, working out as a varsity athlete, sleeping an average of 8 hours a night. And these unique factors and experiences made me stand out in a saturated niche. And that saturated niche was academic content. And I didn't even feel like I was in that niche. It's like I carved out my own niche of Amy, because the things that I shared in my videos could only have been said by myself. And so that's why I feel like I was able to grow relatively quickly, because if you look up this term, it's like creating a blue ocean for yourself rather than competing in a Red Sea. Number 4, sign up to newsletters. In the beginning of my journey, I was just like, oh my gosh, so much advice out there, trends and social media algorithm changes. And I would be spending a lot of time consuming content and advice that eventually they were kind of repeating the same things, or it was kind of hard to implement everything at once. And so I started signing up for newsletters where periodically I would get something in my inbox that's, hey, this is the new social media trend, or hey, here's this person blowing up and here's what you can learn from this new creator, or here are 3 tips on how to make your hook better, or here are 5 examples of great thumbnails that are working right now. And I believe that these newsletters are super valuable because you are also opting into that particular creator who makes that newsletter. And so like right now, to this day, for example, I'm signed up to the Published Press newsletter. I'm signed up to Jay Klaus's Creator Science. And I'm also signed up to Ed Lawrence's newsletter. Oh, and Carrot, I believe, just to name a few. I think this is also why a lot of people will sign up for like the part-time YouTuber Academy. So the value in these courses, right, is like, okay, it might be the same information as on YouTube, but it is structured in a way such that you waste less time searching for things. Like I personally didn't do a course because I felt like I was decent at synthesizing information. And again, I was like just not willing to drop that much money on a course instead of customized coaching. Like I think customized coaching would be a lot more valuable and efficient. But this way with a newsletter, right, it's the same concept. You can get curated advice straight to your inbox and on a periodic basis. Plus then you're not distracted by the YouTube recommended page and you're like, oh, I came here for YouTube videos, but oh, what a cute puppy. I want to watch this video now. Number 5, this is going to sound, oh, is this number 5? Oh yeah. You've probably heard it before, but progress is more important than perfection. I just want to emphasize that even if you spend hours and hours and hours and weeks on a video to make it perfect, well, it likely won't do that well, just saying, right? Because in the beginning of a YouTube journey, even though you might be consuming information and advice, there's no way you can really be good at making YouTube videos until you yourself get the reps in. You have to learn by doing. And to make a better video, you might as well make 5 okay videos and spend time making 1 quote unquote perfect video. There is this common story and example exemplifying this concept. So there is a pottery class and there are 2 groups in this pottery class. The teacher tells group A, your job is to make just 1 piece of pottery the best you can and present it at the end of the semester. Group B has a job. You should make as many pieces of pottery as you can. And then by the end of the semester, just present your best piece. And guess what? Group B not only produced higher quantity or higher output of pottery, but they also produced better pottery pieces than Group A, even though they were aiming for quantity. And so quantity is really the name of the game. And I think this just ties back into why I really emphasize outsourcing editing. It's just something where that is how you get more reps in. That is how you learn quicker. And truly, I think it's much more valuable for a small creator who has a full-time job in corporate than a large creator, because a large creator, you know, they're full-time, they can edit all day long if they want to. Like, I know a lot of giant vloggers, they still edit their own videos for the love of the game, right? But, you know, when you're so busy and stressed from your job, it's really hard to enjoy editing. For me, I would rather grow and see my potential on YouTube than be stubborn and just like edit because, oh, I like editing, right? Like, I enjoy success more than the editing part. My value and what I enjoy doing is telling my story. And so, okay, tying back to progress is better than So tying back to progress is better than perfection. If there are some little details that aren't the prettiest, just let it go. For me, I was just like, good enough. That was my attitude. Okay, good enough. There is a leveling off of the value of fancy editing, right? Like, it's the law of diminishing returns. For an informational video, for example, you want to add editing to make things clear as the first and foremost, and to make things not ugly, I guess. But then to a certain point, additional fancy editing doesn't really add much value, and then it just costs you more money if you are outsourcing that editing. So really let your story and your voice shine. Let that be the core of your content, not some cinematic fancy editing, unless of course that is your goal, to be the cinematic creator. Comment below which of the 5 tips you resonated with the most, and please remember, do not subscribe if you're just here for YouTube tips. That is not what this channel is all about. It's about how you can be an entrepreneur in both your life and your business or whatever venture you have. Being the CEO of your own life is a holistic way of thinking about living for yourself and optimizing this limited time we have on this earth. And that's why I have guests on who are not only entrepreneurs and business owners themselves, but they're also really amazing in life. Like, my friends who succeed in YouTube and content creation, they're also very fit and healthy. They also socialize, and they also sleep enough, and they also have great long-term relationships. Remember to rate this a 5 stars if you enjoyed it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and don't forget that you can sign up for the free 7-day newsletter series to learn how to grow on YouTube sustainably as a busy adult. Thank you so much, and until next time.